This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather in New York and Connie Chung in Washington.
Good evening. Headlines of the hour. The prosecution has presented a very strong case against O.J. Simpson in its opening statements in Los Angeles. And in following that, the defense did not get a chance to put on its opening statements, and the judge is threatening to pull all live television coverage. Now, it's taken 7 months to reach this point, but today the state of California finally did get to begin to prove to a jury that O.J. Simpson is a cold-blooded murderer and a double murderer. The state of California it set out an outline trying to prove that O.J. Simpson brutally knifed his former wife, Nicole, and her friend, Ronald Goldman. Key developments. In their opening statement, prosecutors said Simpson had both the motive and the opportunity. The motive was jealousy. If Simpson couldn't have Nicole, no one could. Opportunity. The prosecutor said Simpson can't account for his whereabouts at the time of the murders. Evidence. The jury was shown photographs of bloodstains allegedly linking Simpson to the crime. The judge denied Simpson's request to make a brief, unchallenged statement of innocence to the jury, but Simpson will be allowed to show jurors his old football injuries as part of the defense's opening statements. Correspondent Bill Whitaker in Los Angeles has more on the Simpson trial.
Deputy McNarrow, may we have the jury, please?
As soon as the jury filed in, it began. First up, prosecutor Christopher Darden. He asked the question so many have asked. Did O.J. Simpson really commit bloody murder?
The evidence will show that the answer to the question is yes. O.J. Simpson murdered Nicole Brown and Ronald Goldman.
In a style mostly methodical, sometimes plotting, Darden asked the predominantly black jury to peer behind Simpson's affable public image.
What we've been seeing, ladies and gentlemen, is the public face, the public persona, the face of the athlete, the face of the actor. It is not the actor who is on trial here today, ladies and gentlemen. It is his other face, the face of a batterer, a wife beater, an abuser. You'll see the face of Ron's and Nicole's murderer.
Trying to present a motive, Darden painted a portrait of Simpson obsessed, who needed to dominate and control Nicole's every move, and who killed her when it seemed he'd finally lost her. Ron Goldman, a hapless victim in the wrong place at the wrong time.
He killed her out of jealousy. He killed her because he couldn't have her. And if he couldn't have her, he didn't want anybody else.
He said the evidence will show Simpson threatened Nicole and beat her so badly that at least 2 times she called 911. He promised the jury they'd hear the tapes.
You will hear the sound of this defendant, this man, beating this woman. You will hear the sound of his hand smacking across her face.
1 month before her death, Darden said Nicole told Simpson it was over for good. She wanted a life of her own. And she made it clear by sitting apart from him at their daughter's dance recital the day of the murders.
He just sat there staring at her. It was a menacing stare, a penetrating stare. It was an angry stare, and it made everyone very uncomfortable.
Then lead prosecutor Marcia Clark addressed the jury, reminding them again to judge the man, not the image.
Now, we will show you the other side of the smiling face you saw in the Hertz commercial, the one you never saw on camera, the one none of us ever wanted to see.
She said Simpson had plenty of time to kill.
The defendant had 1 hour and 10 minutes of time in which his whereabouts are unaccounted for. This leaves us between 9:35 and 10:45 for the defendant to drive from Rockingham to Bundy and back, a total of 12 minutes, which leaves him a full hour to commit the murders.
Clark showed the jurors pictures of the death scene, bloody footprints, the knit cap, one of the bloody gloves. Then others from Simpson's residence, blood drops leading up to and inside the house. In his bedroom, police found a pair of bloodied socks, and outside, that second bloody glove.
The mere fact that we find blood where there should be no blood, in the defendant's car, in his house, in the driveway, and even on the socks in his very bedroom, at the foot of his bed, that trail of blood from Bundy through his own Ford Bronco and into his house in Rockingham is devastating proof of his guilt.
Now, after this dramatic and emotional day, Judge Lance Ito once again is threatening to throw the camera out of the courtroom. It seems he was troubled by an image that was beamed from the courtroom today, possibly pictures of alternate jurors, which is forbidden. He says he'll hold a hearing on that in the morning to determine whether the cameras should stay. In a press conference right now, defense attorneys are urging that the cameras stay on so that they can deliver their opening statements. Dan?
Bill Whitaker in Los Angeles, thanks. Now, a reminder.